Hi, my name's Chris. I asked a couple of my friends how they stay hopeful as we get ready to go into 2021. A lot's gone on, and I was just curious what they were doing. So these are their stories. If you stick around afterwards, there's some Christmas music you can listen to. Just enjoy. It's just for you, just a little gift. And without much more, here they are. What is hope to you? Like, what is your definition of hope?
My definition of hope?
How would you define?
I think hope is and what I think hope means.
That was you. You take.
Okay, so hope.
I don't know. I would define it as a confident expectation in God doing what He promises.
It may not be the way that you planned it, but it'll be better. So much better.
It's not optimism, because optimism is maybe sometimes like a fake hope. To me, real hope is believing that there will be a good outcome eventually. It may not be tomorrow and it may not be next week, but having a solid assurance that it will get better and trying to live out of that certainty rather than what circumstances that swirl around us, because there are crazy circumstances. And it's not just the pandemic. Life always has circumstances.
When I'm feeling depressed or down, the best way to renew my hope is fellowship with other Christians.
In Hebrews 6:19-20, it says, "We have this as a sure and steadfast anchor of the soul, a hope that enters into the inner place behind the curtain where Jesus has gone as a forerunner on our behalf."
That really strengthens me and helps me is to know that God will never leave me, and He's always with us in our lives. And no matter what comes into your life, you have to put your hope in Him, and you have to trust in Him and know that everything works for the good to those that love the Lord.
It's a solid assurance and an expectation of a positive, glorious outcome.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jim. This is my wife, Kelly.
Hello.
We love the Christmas season, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
Just the traditions and the memories and being with family. We love to give presents too, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
We've heard some great stories of hope, but what's your story? Do you have hope? Does real hope seem so short-lived or even out of reach for you? Maybe you even think there's a possibility that you could have certain and lasting hope.
Those people we just heard from are our friends. So we know them. And they're just normal people like you, me, us. And they're just trying to work jobs, make ends meet, raise their kids, deal with tough and sometimes broken relationships, dealing with this crazy world, COVID-19 and everything, and just trying to have a meaningful life.
Right. Well, here's what we wanted you to know without a doubt, that you can have hope too. I mean, it's available for everyone, no matter what your age or your family background, your education level, your financial status. And the hope that Kelly and I are talking about today is a lasting, a deep down kind. The kind that doesn't change depending on the type of day you're having, or week, or year even, not even a year like 2020. I want to end our time together with the ultimate hope-giving story that's really behind all of our stories. About 2,000 years ago in the Middle East, the world was pretty much a mess, just like it is now. War and politics and division between people of different backgrounds and races. Did I mention politics?
I think so.
Rome was the superpower of the day, and they were really oppressing non-Romans. They're really treating them badly and heavily taxing them. There was a man named Joseph who was engaged to a teenage girl named Mary. And it was time for a worldwide census, so they had to travel quite a ways to the town of Bethlehem, probably riding on a donkey, probably walking a lot too. It must have been very difficult because Mary was very pregnant. And that adds a whole lot more drama, but that's another story about hope for another day. When they were in town, it came time for her to give birth, and a baby boy was born. And they wrapped him in strips of cloth and laid him in a feeding trough for animals because there just wasn't any place for them to spend the night. Well, that night they were shepherds out in the fields. They were watching over their flocks of sheep, and suddenly an angel appeared. Can you imagine their shock? He told them not to be afraid, that he was bringing them good news that would bring great joy to everyone. And he told the shepherds about this baby being born and how they could recognize him. So when the angel had gone, the shepherds said to each other, "Let's go see what happened." They went into the village. They found the parents and the new baby just like the angel had said. The shepherds were so excited that they told everyone they could find because they knew it could only have been a miracle. Well, if that's the end of the story, as interesting as it is, it wouldn't be very hope-giving. I mean, it's kind of ordinary, right? Except for the angel part. I mean, it's a poor, young, unmarried couple that's going to have a baby. I mean, they're not really ready to have a baby, but who is? They couldn't find anywhere to stay, so they just had to get by. Shepherds were the first visitors, and shepherds in that day were just the lowest of the low in the society. So how could this story be important enough to be remembered and retold every year since it happened? Here's why. And it's not about all the other details. Those aren't all that important. It's who was born that night. His birth had been predicted for hundreds, maybe even thousands of years before, and it had come true. Joseph and Mary named him Jesus. He was the one who would be the greatest hope of all because he had just one main purpose in life, and that is to rescue us. Really, to rescue us from ourselves. I mean, people back then and even today aren't able to do good enough no matter how we try. They weren't able to overcome their bad choices, and neither are we. Our selfishness, the way we hurt each other, and most of all, how we have rebelled against our Creator. But Jesus, the baby born, could and would take all of that away. He would grow up, and at the age of 33, he would give his very life for us. The Romans would kill him by crucifying him on a cross. And then another miracle happened. He didn't stay buried. He came out of the grave alive. That's another story as well. You see, he had to be born so that he could die and rise from the dead, so that you and I could ultimately live lives here and now, free from guilt and shame, and then lives forever someday with him. That's why Christmas is all about hope, because Jesus is our hope. And Kelly and I want you to have the same hope that we have in him. As part of the family called Epic Christian Church here in Santan Valley, we'd love to serve you, answer any questions you might have. You can find us on social media, YouTube, and our website, epicchristianchurch.com. So just let us know how we might be able to help you.
So now we have a few familiar Christmas carols that we're going to sing. We'd like to ask you to sing along with us if you're comfortable. Thank you so much for spending time with us. Merry Christmas.
Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive her King. hills and plains repeat the sounding joy. Repeat the sounding joy. Repeat, repeat the sounding joy. He rules the world with truth and grace, and makes the nations prove the glories of his righteousness and wonders of his love, and wonders of his love, and wonders and wonders of his love. Oh, little town of Bethlehem, how still we see thee lie above thy deep and dreamless sleep. The silent stars go by. Yet in thy dark street shineth the everlasting light. The hopes and fears of all the years are met in thee tonight. How silently the wondrous gift is given. So God imparts to human hearts the blessings of his hand. No ear may hear his coming, but in this world of sin, where meek souls will receive him still, the dear Christ enters in. Away in a manger, no crib for a bed, the little Lord Jesus laid down his sweet head. The stars in the sky looked down where he lay. The little Lord Jesus asleep on the hay. The cattle are lowing, the baby awaits, your tent.